I have no foot and mouth disease. I don't even know what it means.
You probably got some connections.
All right, you old crone, you better watch your back.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Okay, we have talked wrestling with a comic book artist. We have talked wrestling with a comic book writer. Who better to talk wrestling with now than Booker T, five-time WCW champion, former WWE champion, former tag champion, commentator, GM,
King of the Ring,
King of the Ring,
Champion of Champions,
Champion of Champions. Has there anything in wrestling you have yet to do, sir?
You know, only one, just on the WWE Championship. I never captured
You never
the
captured
WWE Championship. That's the only piece of gold that eluded me in my 22-year illustrious career. But it's it's still good.
Did pretty good.
Yeah, I did pretty good.
So you have this book coming out. It focuses on life before the squared circle. You've done so many things. Why write the book now? Like, what was the impetus to really get this story out now as opposed to before or later?
I think it was time. Wrestling has been a tool for me. It's been a great tool for me to actually be able to reach, the volume of people out there that really need to be reached. I always say Muhammad Ali was my idol, and a lot of people told me, to do this and do that, and I never listened to any of them. And all of them were telling me to do the right things.
Yeah.
But I think if Muhammad Ali, a guy who I looked up to and admired so much, if he would have told me the exact same thing everybody else was telling me, I would have listened. So I'm in that position now where a lot of people look up to me for what I've done on television. They see that persona on television. So now I feel like I'm in a great position to tell them my real story and let them know, hey, the guy on television you see is just a guy who has a job on television. This is the real person who grew up through life poverty and came out on the other end and made something out of his life. So that's really what this is about. I didn't try to sugarcoat it. It's not glamorized or anything like that. It's as real as it possibly can be.
It was funny because when I was doing my research, I came across your mugshot from years and years ago. And what would you say to that kid now? Now that you're in your spot, what would you tell the guy that I saw in that mugshot who's kind of got that smug confidence to him, and I'll be honest, best mugshot ever.
Everybody say that.
You've now gone from that to where you are, successful businessman, successful wrestler. What would you tell that kid?
I would just tell him, you did okay. You did okay. That's it. That kid in that mug shot, that was my first time ever, being in trouble. Actually, I did a lot of bad things in my life. That's the first time I had ever got caught. To see that mug shot and then almost a smile on my face on my way to prison. I was going through a troubled time in my life, and I really feel like prison was the best place for me at that time. One thing I could honestly say, my mother taught me right from wrong. You steal a cookie out of the cookie jar, you know if it's wrong. Yeah. It's no gray area between right and wrong. I knew what I did, by robbing, several places. I did wrong, and I had to pay for it. So paying for it was just part of the price that you have to pay when you do something like that. Go through it, come out on the other end, and try to do something.
Now, when you were writing the book, I know you've got two little ones at home. Are you? Was that a fear when you sat down and wrote the book out that like they're going to read this someday, or was it one of those things that like, no, I was going to tell them this anyways? They might as well.
Well, I think it's a story that they got to know. Yeah. To know the story of their dad. They could watch all the the matches on YouTube, and then they could get a false sense of what Dad really was, really was about. You know what I mean? Like I said, on television, I'm out there playing a role. I'm out there doing my job. But I'm at home, I'm a dad. 100%. And me getting in trouble and seeing that side, and hopefully, when my son and my daughter read it, and they say, Dad wasn't perfect. I can make mistakes and still come back from it, but hopefully they won't make those mistakes and go forward in life.
Now, speaking of characters, one of the reasons I've always liked you as a wrestler is, on paper, some of the storylines and gimmicks you've been given, if it was somebody else, it would be the King Booker, for example. If you wrote that down, I can't see anybody pulling it off. How did King Booker become kind of really one of your legacy characters? So awesome of a character, but if you had put it on paper, like, well, Booker's now going to speak with an English accent. You know, how much of it was you? How much of it was
that's writing? The thing. You can't put something like that on paper. You know, the King Booker, just like every character that I've been given, you know, in this business, you take that character and you run with it. You make it the best you possibly can make it. My brother told me, you know, when he helped me get a job, and it's in the book, you know, he told me, you know, when you get I'm gonna help you get a job, but no matter what that job is, you do it, and you do it to the best of your ability. I don't care if it's sweeping floors, washing windows, digging ditches, whatever it is, you do it to the best of your ability. So I took that same approach with every role that I got. I wanted to be the best king throughout the history of the King of the Ring. When you look back on all of the King of the Ring tournaments, the first king you're gonna ever think about is King Booker, because I think I was the most royal, the most majestic king there has ever been, and that was totally calculated.
And I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you very much. I can't wait to read the book. I'm really looking forward to it. It's in bookstores now? Is it?
Yep. Actually, September 1st. You can pre-order it on Amazon, iBooks. But make sure you get a copy, guys. It has very little about wrestling in it. It's all about the story and the struggle of Booker T. And if I can make it, anybody can.
There we go.
You have some sexy eyes. I'm not gonna lie to you right now.
These eyebrows are lady killers.